Chengelo. We thank Flavor FM. We thank Rooster FM, Rise FM, Mafken Radio, Mpongwe Radio, and others for featuring us on your platforms. And I know, as my colleague has said, that we are also on various social media platforms. So very, very good to be here. And I want to thank President Mwansa for being here, and my colleague, obviously, Mr. Mshala, and the provincial chairman and the team, Nebumbali Enumkwai. Thank you for being around. So we're grateful to be here.
We are on the Copperbelt. In order to be more precise, tell us about the gist of this visit. I know we are in the campaign period. What's the gist of your visit to the Copperbelt?
Well, in the first place, we are supposed to be anywhere and everywhere as our schedules allow us, because that's what our constitution allows in terms of fundamental human rights, liberties, and freedoms. To have freedom of movement is our right. To have freedom of association is our right too. Assembly is our right. And therefore we are on the Copperbelt as an integral part of our country, where every citizen is free to move as they wish. Not what we are seeing these days, where restrictions are placed on us. That's unconstitutional. And I suggest to all of the people of Zambia, in fact, I ask the people of Zambia to refuse to accept illegal instructions to restrict us from moving from any part of Zambia to another. Number one. Number two, as you rightly put it, this is a campaign period. Campaign is on. Again, I want to say to the people of Zambia, the UPND, the alliance partners, and indeed any others that believe and understand that this country needs to move and move in a direction that will create opportunities for them, they must resist, they must refuse to be restricted from engaging in campaigns. Because the ultimate of a democratic system is elections, to choose leaders that will run the country to meet the needs of the people of Zambia. So vamukuka wesu. Na imwe bene, journalists really must know that you are free to interview people like us. You are free to campaign for change as well. Because na imwe mule chula as other Zambians are suffering. So I think I answered your question to be decisive, to be very clear that no restrictions should be placed on us. Since we came here, roads are being blocked. Even going to a burial site, roads are being blocked. To have a road show, we are being blocked, and we are asked to apply. We don't need to apply because it's a campaign period. The campaigns are taking place in every polling station, 13,000 plus of them, thereabout, in every ward by Valentine, in every constituency across the country, 156 constituencies. So no one needs to trouble themselves to issue a permit to anybody or authority to campaign. We should campaign as we wish. They, meaning PF, are campaigning. And they're actually following us now like 5-year-olds. They hear that we're going to Ndola, they change their program, they come to Ndola. We're going to Solwezi, they change their program, go to Solwezi. What are they looking for? We don't want trouble. We want an election that will be free and fair. An election that will choose a leadership that will serve the people of Zambia. Thank you.
Are you saying you are not satisfied with a level playing field in terms of campaigns?
There's no level playing field, Valentine. Takuli level playing field. Ili kwisa. Ngatulevo kuya kuchipulukusu atawe, mwiya kuchipulukusu. Tulevo kuya kuchamboli atawe, mwiya kuchamboli. That is not a level playing field. It's clear for everybody to see, but this must change because we do not agree to such restrictions. Zambians should say no to illegal instructions, illegal activities of this nature. Thank you.
What are you going to do if the situation remains the same as you try to campaign and you face the challenges that you have highlighted?
we exercise our constitutional right. The Constitution overrides any administrative decisions or pronouncements from anybody. So those who are pronouncing restrictions are breaking the law. We are on the right side of the law in terms of the Constitution, in terms of the Electoral Act, Electoral Process Act 2016. We are doing what is right. Those who are restricting us are in the wrong. So I think we must tell them as a nation, together in unison, that they must not lead in breaking the rule of law. They are being disorderly, Valentine. Chachine boy, they are being disorderly.
There are suggestions that besides rallies, you can use other platforms to campaign.
Such as what? Have you heard what they've defined?
We have seen other political parties that have used walks instead of rallies.
Yeah, but first, it's illegal, I've already said, to restrict us from having rallies. We understand the COVID-19 situation. We know we have to meet the minimum requirements. You can see I just took off my mask in order to speak properly, but I've been wearing my mask everywhere. As long as we meet those requirements, we should be able to have campaigns, because our colleagues in PF are doing it. Batina, what are they afraid of? They are scared of us. It's very clear. So where are you going to follow them next? They go and answer, some calls elsewhere. You follow them. How far can they go to do that? Road, if you like, you can walk on the road. That's correct. You can run. That's correct. You can drive on the road, drive around. That's correct. So we should exercise all the options and no one should place restrictions. I think we should get this message loud and clear. Very, very loud and clear. The people of Zambia should not accept this manipulation. An election is not an event, an election is a process. Meaning that before elections, like now, the environment must be free for all to campaign. The voting day must be devoid of any violence. Counting, tallying, announcement. That's a voting process, that's an election process. So what's happening now is actually the PF are disturbing an environment which will lead to free and fair elections. And they must stop it. And I know, and you know why they're doing it. Nabalusakale. They know that. Nabeshiba. Nabalusakale. Nomba mwenso na wingira sana. Mwenso. But Zambians will prevail. They've always prevailed. We've had governments that are autocratic before. Zambians prevailed. We shall prevail. Abena Kopala, you are strong people. Zambians, you are strong people. Do not agree to be oppressed in this manner. It's unacceptable. Certainly, even if I was the only one objecting to this, I would continue objecting because I'll be on the right side of the law. Thank you.
Let's look at the UPN's vision for the Copperbelt province. They're talking about a mining town.
Yes.
Also an agricultural town. You know that Mpongo is producing maize.
Yes.
Your vision for the Kopala,
First and foremost, Valentine. Totela sana for asking this question. Allow me just to set a ground. To set a ground that will lead us to a decent conversation around this issue of our vision for this country, our vision for the Copperbelt. Number one, we are all agreed as a country. We agreed that the country is going through difficulties, tremendous difficulties. Abantu besu Valentine, abena Zambia, vale chula, tule chula, mkwai tuwa chula pafula, under this leadership. There's no contestation on that. We can cite specific examples of how the country is suffering, including Abena Kopala. And hunger. In Salam Mayanda, we've never experienced hunger like we're experiencing now in this country since independence. Valentine. Bamukuka Wesu. Next, to demonstrate amachushi twakwata Mayanda. Abana who are supposed to be in school, tabaleya kuma school, including orphans. But even those whose parents are alive, because our fiashi panganda tabakwata olupia, tubana bayi kuma schools. Difficulties. But yeah, we finish our schools, college, university. But muma streets, tabakwata nchito. Over 100,000 nurses, teachers are unemployed. Those are the ones we are asking to participate in this election, to campaign in this election, because this is their campaign, so they can get jobs. Instead of being in the streets, they will be in the classrooms teaching. Instead of being in the streets, if you're a nurse, when the new government comes, you will be in a ward attending to patients. These are the difficulties. What else? Hospitals. You go to hospital now, Bamukuka Wesu, no medicines. Takulimit. You may find a doctor if the doctor is not on strike. But even the doctors going on strike is a clear indication that there's a problem in our country. Doctors' arrears, salary arrears, allowance arrears are not paid. But cadres, ruling party cadres are being paid a lot of money. Ama cadres yaba PF. Balevo mfiandalama as pillows when the doctors have not been paid their arrears. Is that normal in a country like ours? No, that's not normal. If into that in our country, that is not the way things ought to be. I can go on. When you get medicines, because there are no medicines, ngawaya ku hospital vamukuka walwala vaya vakupela ka prescription ka paper like this ati ewe ukashita omuti nomba kuti wachita no omuti taubomba because there are no jobs. Niwewe retiree, you have not been paid. Ndalama show. Waya ku market banamaye ku market bakashitishe takula ama customers because abantu bakwata Europea economy is destroyed. Nomba kuti wachita no muti kufa munganda. That is why we are saying the first basis for this conversation is to admit that the country is going through a lot of problems. If you are lucky, bakupela omuti, bakupela expired medicine, honeybee medicine. We omulanda tu, you drink that medicine, bakwipaya. Nano ukwipa. Who has killed you? Te Boma, te government. Ireshita $17 million of expired medicines. These are the challenges we have, Bamukuka Wesu. And Zambians are now agreed, I can go on, that the kwacha should not be 22 kwacha to $1. It should have been 6 kwacha. Nkongole, Kaloba, Shafulisha. That is why now Zambians are saying we need change. It's time for change. That is why you see colleagues seated next to me here, alliance partners. We have agreed 8 or so parties that will work together as UPND alliance partners with the people of Zambia, Bamukuka, so that we can deliver change. Change is written in the air. Monen, you see those leaves there. Ngamwalolesha bwino. Pali lembwa change pali. Mise weonse, it's written change. Why? To address these problems. So that is the first thing I wanted to say. As you know, Bamkuka Wesu, problems do not choose. Insala ataishi wa mutundu. Ila sumafya. Inyo kola chabi. Sizi ba mutundu. Bambi balela ndafya mitundu. Awe. If you have wele. Because it's meaningless. We are all suffering. So now, what do we want to do ourselves, together with yourselves, is to effect change by voting out this government to do what? To solve these problems. But for us to effect change, we should unite. We need to work together. That's another parameter now. To address these problems, to solve these problems, to offer Zambians hope, we need to reunite this country. We need to work together. Once we are reunited, we shall achieve what we want to do. We have always achieved what we wanted to do when we've united. We shall give examples. Yes, indeed. To deliver independence, to Alibo Mbela Chapamo, unit of purpose, we defeated the colonialists. 1991, we decided one-party state was not good for us. All the citizens of Zambia, majority, Bamkuka West, worked together to defeat the one-party state in the name of UNIP. Second time, unit of purpose. Number 3, 2001, Bambibale for third term. All of us came together and defeated the third term agenda, including Vice President Christon Tembo, Vice President, sitting Vice President in the MMD. Bali sela bafuma oku kuli bali abali for third term, Vaisa, to be on the side of the people, the right side of history, and we defeated the third term. This is the time again, Bamukuka Wesu, Abena Zambia, Mwemi Sepela. You are the owners of this country. Technically, you have many more years to live in this country. Our women, you suffer most. We must, once again, work together in unity of purpose to deliver change. Yeah, Lembwa Pamisebo. To solve the problems, the challenges, the poverty, the hunger, to push Nsala Mayanda. Wombele Chapamo, and then we will effect change. And once we have effected change, Bamukuka Wesu, what are we going to do? That's the question you asked me. Do you want me to proceed now?
Yes, you can proceed. Also, bearing in mind that people also want to know how that change that you have talked about will translate into changing people's lives.
Indeed. Mwaisa wino Bamukuka. Mwaisa wino. So, once we effect change, which we can only do by all of us being campaign managers in our own right, with all these restrictions, it doesn't matter whether we have a rally or a road show or a walk. Campaign is the responsibility of every citizen. These citizens who have agreed to work together. So, Naimwebe Nebamukuka, Nimwebe was campaign manager for change, for the UPND Alliance. Because Naimwebe Mulechula.
I'm non-partisan.
You're a Zambian. You're a Zambian. Mwikala kwisa. Mwikala muno mwini. Naimwe nsala. Mleumfa. But I understand what you mean. Because you may just get yourself into trouble. And because I don't want to give you in trouble, to put you in trouble, I agree with your position that you are non-partisan. But you are a media. So maybe I used you figuratively. So all of us are campaign managers in the homes, everywhere. Right. Change comes, which it will come. And at this point, allow me, Bamukuka Westu, to indicate some negativities that we have picked up whilst we've been on the Copperbelt. What is this negativity?
I hope those negativity will come with solutions and positives as well.
Indeed, indeed. Just hear me out. We have had some maneuvers to postpone the 2021, August 12, 2021 elections. That is unconstitutional. That will not happen. Zambians will not allow it because the elections must happen on the 12th of August so that Zambians can give themselves hope for a better life. So those who are advocating for adjourning the election, postponing the election, you will not be allowed to do that because other countries have had elections. Malawi next door during the COVID environment, Tanzania next door, not too far from here, during the COVID elections. Congo itself, Congo DR, which is Pepia Paka Sumbalesa, they had an election. Ghana, United States of America. So for those who are afraid of leaving public office, hanging on to public office like it's your parents' office, it will not happen. Let us just work together to deliver elections. Anyway, what is our vision? Is to reconstruct this country. Reconstruct this country from the economic side, Bamkukawesu, so we can support the social side. What do we intend to do first, including for the Copperbelt? One, we will drive the agenda to end hunger in the homes. You asked me how. We will be able to improve agriculture, Bamkuka. At the same time, we will reduce the cost of production in agriculture. Because that's the how you're asking me. In which way? Just one example. Today, Bamkuka, since you said Copperbelt is partially farming area, mining area, and we'll touch on this. One bag of fertilizer, 50 kg bag of fertilizer, costs 600 kwacha plus. One bag. Why should the bag of fertilizer cost that much? Is that the right price? No. Why is it costing 600 kwacha per bag? Increasing the cost of production, and therefore the cost of milling, the price of milling, the price of food. It is because of corruption. We are going to end corruption and have a zero tolerance to corruption, Bamukuka. What will that do to the cost of milling? Here's how it works. When we have a zero tolerance to corruption, after change of government, God's will, courtesy of the people of Zambia, we will be able to reduce the price of fertilizer from 600 plus per bag to 250 kwacha. There's your solution. Of course, there are other factors that will apply there, improving the logistics for moving fertilizer, other farming inputs here and there, which will bring the price down. This is what this UPND alliance is going to do. And it will then increase production, Bamkukawesu, and at a lower price. Sounds strange, but it's very true. At a lower cost of production, the farmer will still make a profit and the price of milling will come down. That's how we are going to end hunger. Just one example, making food prices affordable to people. I've just given you one illustrative example. And there are many other things that we're going to do. Look at the price here, salad, carpenter, beans, cooking oil. We will stabilize these prices and bring them down so that we end hunger. One major objective. And hunger is across the country. That's what we're going to do. Did you have a question around here?
I just wanted to remind the viewers and the listeners that they are listening to a special interview that is featuring the President for the United Party for National Development, UPND, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema. This program is live on Radio Chengero and a number of local radio stations, TV stations, and of course social media platforms such as Facebook. You've talked about the issue of bringing down the prices of commodities.
Yes.
And when you talk about this particular matter, how achievable is it? We are in an economy where people have to set their own prices.
Well, prices are set by many factors. That is true. And obviously, Bamkuka, you are talking about the subject I understand very well. I hope you know that.
Free market economy.
No, business. Free market economy, business, yes.
It's also business, as well.
Indeed. What drives the price are a couple of factors, including the cost of production. I've just demonstrated through you to the people of Zambia how we reduce the cost of production, which will help drag, we call it drag effect, drag the prices down, which our colleagues in office are failing to do. The other side that affects the prices of goods, cost of living, is the supply. How much mealie is in the shops will affect the price of mealie. I have already said to you, by reducing the cost of production, we will also drive production up, which improves the supply of food, which helps lower the cost of food. Chongeni, I've got an A there. So that is what we're going to do. The free market economy, yes. Just two examples I've given of our vision, our policies that will drag the prices down. What else will drag the prices down? Remember, I said earlier, corruption. Once we take out corruption, which adds the cost to production, we will then reduce that cost arising from amafisakanwa. Amafisakanwa is a cost to doing business. By taking out amafisakanwa, corruption will add on to lowering the cost of doing business, lowering the cost of living, food included, and other services, other goods. What else are we going to do? Around this issue, we will stabilize the kwacha dollar exchange rate. Our nurse, when they took office, the kwacha was 6 kwacha to $1.
Sorry, I wanted to cut you short before
no
you
problem.
go to the kwacha and the
No
dollar.
problem.
When you talk about corruption,
Yes.
how feasible is it that the situation can be changed? Yes, politicians can be changed even at the top level, but the civil servants remain the same. The accountants will remain the same. The buyers will remain the same in these companies and the institutions.
The key is the leadership. The key is the quality of leadership, the political will. And that's what the UPND Alliance will provide, the political will to end corruption. The same institutions, such as Anti-Corruption Commission, Drug Enforcement Commission, Financial Intelligence Center, such as the Auditor General, have worked better under different leaderships. Once you have a corrupt leadership like what we have now, these institutions do not deliver to end corruption. We will provide the political will, the policy framework to enforce the reduction in corruption. That's how it works. The missing link in this country, is not resources, because we're plenty of the resources. A lot of resources in this country. Amenshi, Fiani, Nenebo Kachema, Ngana Lolesha Menshi, plenty of it on the Copperbelt. Ifiani, Nde Monolu Pia. Because in there, you just add management, you produce a lot of beef at a lower cost. Lupia, that's food at a lower cost. It's the vision, it is a political will, it's the capacity to manage. That's what will change. Improved capacity to enforce the anti-corruption policy. Number two, around there, to give delegated authority to these institutions to operate professionally. No political interference. Let the Anti-Corruption Commission operate as officers of parliament, give them job security, don't threaten them with retirement in national interest, as what we see now. You remember? The chief executive of the Financial Intelligence Center was threatened by the PF government when she produced a report that highlighted billions of kwacha that were stolen by this government. Us, it will be the opposite. We will encourage her by supporting her, giving her authority to work, giving her more money, giving attention to her reports so that we protect public resources. Just that leadership difference will bring about an answer to your question, that corruption will come down. And that will help lower the cost of doing business, lower the cost of living, also save money that we lose to corruption and put that money into hospitals. So we can buy medicines. Ngamaya kuchipatela under UPND Alliance government, you will not be given a piece of paper called prescription. You will find medicines, but not expired medicines. But medicines with efficacy, which will treat you from your disease, save your life. The money we save from corruption will go into agriculture to further help lower the cost of production. The money that we save from corruption will go into education bamukuka wesu. Kutaba na besu, na baye kuma school the way HH Bali here went to school. Government bursary, I went to school bamukuka first 3 years, no shoes. Sapato. I'm very proud of that. But I want that gift to be given to your children. Kuba nabanshiwa, single and double orphans. That is where my eyes are set. Our eyes are set on achieving that objective amongst many. So that any bright child, money will not be the issue. It is the ability to go to primary, secondary, college. They will get the government bursary. They will be entitled to a government bursary. Not because they are related to Bamwansa, Bamatambo, Bapiri, or indeed Bamushala. No, because we're in government. No, because one, they are Zambians. Two, they are able to go to college. And when they finish school, that money we save from corruption will go into job creation, including making sure that mining companies give contracts to Zambian citizens for supply of goods and services. Mine suppliers, we want them to be priority to be Zambians. Mine contractors, priority to be Zambian. If Zambian individual company cannot be able to supply the goods and services, they can partner with a foreigner with the capacity. But the contract will go to Zambia. And the meaning of that, Bamukuka West, is that we'll create jobs. A lot of jobs for Imisepela. These are the jobs now we'll be able to give to those who complete school. At the beginning, I was talking about nurses. I was talking about teachers. Ama teachers, Mukwai, graduates, I repeat what I said earlier, who are unemployed, nurses, other graduates. This is your campaign. This is your campaign for change, so that in 2 months' time, 3 months' time, after the change of government, you can get jobs. Muka kwatenchito. And I'm explaining how the jobs will come about. Let me just give you another example around corruption. How we will save resources, and these resources applied into the productive sector. Not ukuli olupia. Yoba nesu balanda lyonse ba PF ati ubomba mwibala, alia mwibala. Awe. Iwe tukachinja policy. File chitika nomba tubomba mwibala, alia mwibala. Nomba nembuto yonse bale sheta. It means you cannot grow more food, you cannot. Imbuto includes the money that is stolen in a generic terms. So once we save that money, including corruption on public procurement, all public jobs, contracts will be given at the right price because we'll have dealt with corruption. Let me give you one example. Tulimundola munoga, pamukwatewe, tevye. Umusebo from Lusaka to Ndola, just about 330 kilometers, our next PF, now pela contract for $1.2 billion. This contract is riddled with corruption. We will be able to do this road at a price of $300 million for the Lusaka-Ndola road, where we are. By doing that, because we've taken out corruption, and the contracts are given at the right cost, at the right price. Of course, better quality road, not the poor quality roads that are being done today. Very poor roads on the Copperbelt here, and Zambia as a whole. And on time, but more important, we will be able to save, save $1.2 billion less $300 million, which is the correct price, we will save $900 million. Whichever mukuka, insham shilanda sha, nga tuashita save $300 million, sorry, $900 million, we have the money to invest in job creation, to give, this is our UPND alliance policies, to give grants, soft loans to marketeers, to taxi drivers, to truck drivers, to mine suppliers, mine contractors. They will do more business. When they do more business, they will earn enough money to look after themselves and their children. They will employ more people, more jobs. What else will they do? They will invest more money in this economy, because now we'll have also lowered the cost of doing business. And when they've done that, surprise, surprise, to others, but not to us, because that's what we intend to do. The economy will grow, jobs will be created, businesses will be created, contracts will be available, and we will have already decided that these contracts must go primarily to Zambian and Zambian companies. And you will see now opportunity for you, even if you wanted to start your own radio station alongside or away from Chengelo, even you can access cheaper credit, and you can employ yourself. You can also employ other journalists. This is the vision we have. This is how we will deliver it. This vision is superior to what you see today, to the poverty, to the squalor, to the unemployment you see today. Nga tuolande chintuba mukuka, first tuatontonkanya. Because now tukwate chimonwa. Ebe tulanda muchibembe, tebe? Vision. Tulanda shan vision muchibembe. Ichimonwa, which we carry as an alliance, as UPND, as colleagues in the alliance, will be translated into benefits for the people of Zambia in the manner I have explained here. Everybody tells me, abantu abengi balanda, charity mafuya kulanda, atilupia koluli, takuli lupia. I have just shown you how much money is being wasted, which we are going to save. And once we've done that, let me touch on a little thing on the mining sector. We do not want the transport of our copper to be given to foreign truckers. The transportation of our copper, our maize, our other goods will be given to Zambian truckers. Mukwai, truck owners, Zambians, this is your campaign. So you can get off your truck which is on the rocks because it has no tires, buy those tires. Because the contracts, by law, there's a lawyer seated next to me. And what I'm saying here, Bamukukawes, is policy. Record this and remind us in 4 months' time after the change of government. When we interviewed you. Then I'll say, Bamkuka, monenefe tulechita, monen palia. We have saved money there from that contract, that contract, that contract. We have given the law that we've changed has now allowed a transporter to get their tires, to put tires on their truck. Now the truck is on the road. What a pleasurable time it will be in a few months' time. Bamukuka Wesu, just to crown it a little bit here, Moneni, you cannot be mining copper and you keep on buying copper wire to wire your house, to electrify your house. You keep on buying copper wire. we want to give more support to value addition muchalo chesumono, so that we can produce more copper wire. Zamefa, yes, does it or used to do it. We want more Zamefas. More jobs will arise from there, more money will be created, more foreign exchange ba mkuka wesu. Same with manganese in Serenje, in Mansa. A ton of manganese now in form of a rock. My friend here comes from that area, by Dr. Mansa. First license will go to Zambia and Zambian citizens. Then you have no money, that's your joint venture ticket. Your ticket for the joint venture is your license. Ebu nonshile saa tupele nomchalo chesu cha Zambia. So, we will not encourage continue what's happening in Mkuka Wesu, where manganese is mined as a rock, then it's sold at only $50 per ton. We will support value addition in copper and manganese, so that now manganese 1 ton or processed manganese, very simple processing, closer to the mining area, will cost $1,000 per ton. So we have made $1,000 less $50 is $950. Less $300 of processing cost, $600, $650. Minimum $500 per ton profit. Can you compare that to $50 per ton? No. UPND alliance policies, practical, real business. Not chipante pante tule mwananchi kushino. Chipante pante. Nga ule cha bola iye kukusa go ili huku. Right? Tetuingishe. You will find sharpshooters. Using that as an example. Soccer is an example.
Yes,
Let me just finish this. Once we've done that, Bamukuka, then the jobs in Mansa. Instead of a child from Mansa crossing this pedicle to come to Copperbelt to get a job, the child in Mansa will stay in Mansa and get a job in a manganese mine, in a manganese processing plant, and they'll make more money. These are practical examples. You can test them, you can check, you can go on internet. The prices I'm giving you are real. But what is missing is the leadership. Is the leadership with a vision. Leadership here, each mono. You corrected my Bemba. Each mono. To be able to deliver what we are saying to you. These are the things that then will allow more mine employees. These are the things that will allow us to reduce the salary gap, which is too wide for the same job in various mining companies today.
I'm coming to the issue
Mopan.
of mine ownership.
Yes.
Who should own the mines? The state or the private sector? Or both? There's this debate on the Copperbelt on who should own the mines.
That debate is a debate of ignorance. Not your ignorance, but the ignorance of those in government. Because that debate should not be there. Why should that debate not be there? At the moment, the government has been bankrupted by Mkuka Wesu. The treasury is empty. Ulu pia lwafuma mu banki ya chalo, treasury. Lwaya mu matumba ya abantu ma politicians. Eba kwatelu pia. Number. The government treasury is empty. Politicians who never ran any business 5 years ago are so rich now. Even one of them who is in dollar here, who was saying one day that 2 million kwacha is pocket money. We mulumendo. Wakulire kwisa. Which community do you get raised in? How can you say 2 million kwacha is petty cash, is pocket money, when 5 years ago you had nothing? You were a cadre beating people at the MMD Secretariat just 5 years ago. Because you are in government, wafumi pia from the treasury, wabika mutumba liobe, then you start mocking Zambians, that's pocket money. This debate is a non-issue. The treasury is empty, Mkuka Wesu. So therefore, you cannot go and buy Mopani as a government when the treasury is empty. What have you done? What you have done by doing that, you are wasting taxpayers' money, which does not exist Because the money does not exist, what do you do? What have you done? You've gone to borrow and create nkongole shimbi. Already the country is overburdened by debt. Bamukuka West. So this Mopani transactional loan has added more nkongole of $1.5 billion minimum. Under the UPND Alliance government would have never done that thing at all. So it does not come to a debate of who should own mines. It comes to the debate of who has the resources to invest in the mine and run the mine more viably so you can create more jobs. So that we can have workers in the mining companies paid appropriate salaries and paid on time. That's what UPND will do. And begin to harmonize a job in Mopani, a job in KCM, a job in Kansanshi, a job in whichever mining companies, similar job must attract similar salary levels. We are going to close this gap ourselves. But returning to who should own the mine, he, she, those who have the resources and can run the mine. Instead of borrowing money, what was needed in Mopani was a private sector solution. Government provides the laws and regulations, including appropriate mine taxation, to allow the mines to operate viably. That's what the UPND do. Right? When the UPND government, the people of Zambia will invest in a mine, it will be an investment which will be run viably. Capital will be availed at the right price, and the mine will be operated profitably. So the debate of who owns the mine is a non-issue under the UPND. We want Zambians to own the mines. But how are we going to do it ourselves? There's no leadership to see where the money is sitting, where it's hiding. We know where that money is hiding.
Having money is one thing, capacity is another.
Indeed. That's what we're saying. But now we have both situations. Ulupia embuto twalela ndabaliri embuto ya chalo through corruption, through debt. Treasury is empty. That's why there are no medicines in hospitals. Packed, no argument. So by giving Zambians, remember what I said, Bamkuka, Zambians will get licenses for mines, licenses for timber for Mukula. No foreigner will have a license for timber for Mukula. All the license, then prepare to get Mukula licenses so that you can also be business persons and will support you. UPND government, Alliance government will support you. But once we give you a license, that license Bamkuka is worth millions of dollars. Just that license. And that's a license that will take you to a table like this one, organized by the UPND government, the visionary UPND government, to allow you to bring in a partner. A partner may be foreign, may be fellow Zambia, maybe from the region, and that will give you equity in the mining company. How about that? And then the technology to mine at a profit, not at a loss. You do not take over a mine. First you borrow the money as a government, then you have no money to operate it. You don't do that because you trouble Zambians. You create more problems for Zambia. The mine will not employ people, will not pay people as you wish. A problem to Akwata Mchaloches. So now, let me just add one little issue here. When you have a mine run properly the way we've described, profitably, it will employ more people, more jobs. It will pay appropriate salaries. What else is this going to do? It will pay gratuities, which are not being paid at the moment. Mopani employees, after separation from Glencoe, the government promised to pay gratuities. They have not paid the gratuities. Because the government took over a mine in a manner, in a way that is not viable. That's what we're saying. So that debate, need debate your ignorance. It's like debating, you want to see words in a room which is in the dark. Can you read anything in the dark? What do you say in Bemba reading? In a room which is dark, right? So now, this is an analog I'm giving here. This is how this government will be different from what you have today. Bamukuka wesu. gratuities for Mopani employees. Pay them. You promised. You took over a mine without knowledge. But you promised the workers to be paid gratuities. Pay them. If you don't pay them, in the next 2 months, the UPND Alliance government will pay them. That's a promise. That's a commitment. Right? Contractors are not paid on time, sometimes not paid at all. This will not happen under UPND. Contractors first will be given contracts, Zambians. If they don't have the full capacity, they will join venture with others. But when they do the work, they will be paid. Their appropriate dues, they will be paid on time. Right? We're still talking about this. Now, once you do investment in the mines the way we are talking about, right? I must have said it earlier, Bamukuka, that jobs in the mining sector, jobs in this country, whether government, whether private company, whether mine, whether farming, priority for jobs will go to Zambian citizens. Namufa, Zambian citizens. How can you find a foreigner? Why should you find a foreigner driving a bulldozer, a crane? Zambian Aikalapanganda, no job. No. That will not happen under the UPND. Because you were asking me how. Today I'm very happy with you.
And how long can all these things that are on paper take to be implemented? You have previously talked about bringing the exchange rate down within hours.
Yes.
How feasible, how practical, how long?
That's how finance works. You want me to give you an example?
Briefly, I know.
I'll be very quick.
My time, yeah.
I'll be very quick because we need to cover a lot of ground. You campaign for change for UPND Alliance, 12th of August. You turn out and vote in large numbers. I'm addressing Zambians, all of you who are suffering today. This is your chance to improve your welfare, your life, to better your lives. It's your opportunity, very rare opportunity. This year's election is a critical election in this country. You turn out to vote in large numbers on the 12th of August. Say by 16th of August, we are sworn in at 10 hours. Very good. 10 hours we are sworn in. By 14 hours, the kwacha will appreciate against the dollar. By 14 hours. How? Because the market, the financial market, the foreign exchange market, works on a number of factors, whether the exchange rate goes down or up. One of the factors is what is called confidence. You can't touch it, but I know it exists. You know it exists. It's called confidence. The market now will be confident that there's a new leadership of the UPND Alliance, which has a vision, which has a capacity, policies to implement policies, right policies, capacity to implement the policies. The market reacts immediately. And the kwacha will appreciate against the dollar within 2 hours, 3 hours. Even earlier. Immediately the swearing in actually ends. Check the foreign exchange markets, you'll see the kwacha will appreciate. Why? Because now the market knows that a good leadership that will implement the real economic policies, that will grow the economy, will create jobs, that will produce more money. Remember, instead of selling 1 ton of manganese at $50, we will now be selling at $1,000. We make a profit of $500, $600, more foreign exchange. The market now knows that there will be more foreign exchange. Remember earlier you were asking me about how do the price get affected? I said to you, there are many factors. One of the factors is the supply side. The supply of dollars, now the market will know there will be more dollars coming from more copper processed into copper wire, into electrical components for electric cars which are coming, copper, cobalt, tantalite in this country, plenty of it. The now market knows that there will be more money earned from our maize. How? Because of agro-processing, which is part of our policies, which will create more milling jobs. We'll sell maize, not maize, milling meal to Congo. We'll earn more money from selling meal instead of selling maize, selling stock feed into Botswana instead of selling maize. The market understands that and it responds. It knows now there will be more dollars coming. Then more appreciation. Appreciation meaning improvement, bettering the kwacha versus the dollar exchange rate. That's how it works for Mukukawes. I remember I was on radio one time in Phoenix in Lusaka, and I talked about this. One person who shall remain nameless, but is a minister in PF, called and said, uleve pa ubufi. Could the exchange rate actually improve in 2 hours? It's impossible. I said, where do you live? Do you understand the financial market? That's how it works. So I have answered your question, Bamukuka. The market will react because of confidence, quality of leadership, vision, management capacity, monitoring and control, zero tolerance to corruption. All these combine to help the kwacha appreciate against the dollar. But the real economy will come and further appreciation of the kwacha as we value add our copper, our manganese, our maize, our tomato into tomato paste, and indeed our beef into canned beef and more jobs. This is how this UPND government alliance will work. Even you as a citizen, naimwe avena Zambia mulekutika kumulabansa, you'll be very proud. You'll even be asking yourself, mkwaitu alicherwa. Why were we wasting time? Why did we allow our country, Ndola, here in Ndola? Yesterday when I came in Bamukuka, I passed through the factory areas. That's a ghost area now. You will see activity going back into those factories. Remember? Mkalibaichim, Dunlop. Remember? Copper Harvest. Remember? Brookborn. Remember? Rover Zambia. Remember? Just right here in Ndola. Why did they collapse? Bad leadership. That's what we are fixing. Barry will fix that. Barry and team will fix that. Mkwai.
When you look at everything that is in your manifesto, we may talk about words like policy rate, exchange rate. Now imagine mulina wanakulu Shampongo, wanakulu Mukuka, wanakulu Banda.
Yes.
How do you convince them?
Let me explain.
You are given these 3 minutes.
No, I'll do it less. Less than 3 minutes. This is how it work. Paria banamukuka bale nga bale trade ku market bale ya ku Tanzania bale shita ifipefya $1,000. First bashita $1,000 in a bureau. Aini. When the kwacha was 6 kwacha to $1, banamukuka only needed 6,000 kwacha. Kibaye ku Tanzania kuma orders baleta efipe fyabo bashitisha. She makes a profit. Basunga abana panganda. Balisha abana panganda. Forgive my pronunciation. Right? Now bana mukuka, she will need 22,000 kwacha to buy the same $1,000 kuya ku Tanzania. Profit yabo na iya. Finished. She cannot make money. Tetibapange olupia, tetibapange profit. Business here, that business just collapses. We will make it possible for Banamukuka to be able maybe to spend only 8,000, maximum 10,000 kwacha to buy $1,000 and to continue with her business, ordering things. Bayashtama order, bayisakuno, balipira transport munshila, bayaku market, bayashitisha efipe fyabo at a price which is affordable, because when the price of the kwacha, the dollar is so much, her goods cannot sell because muntengo nishina unina sana. So tukabafa by bringing the exchange rate stability to allow her to trade. And to do that, I've talked of the sentiments, confidence. I've talked of value addition for our minerals, for agricultural produce, and then we earn more foreign exchange, more dollars, then Banamukuka will buy the dollars, $1,000 at 8,000 kwacha or 10,000 kwacha, she will still make money. I've explained. Banamukuka, na mumfa win. namumfa. This election banamukuka teyakwa Hakainde, teyakwa Bali, it's your election, it's your campaign. You know, namwishi befyo ndelanda pana. This is your campaign. Ingile ni campaign banamukuka ku market, after church, at home, pali baneba. This is it. I've done it. I've explained in a short space of time.
Thank you very much. In conclusion, what are you telling the people of Zambia come August 12?
We're telling the people of Zambia, all of them, people like Wanamukuka, that this election for you. We're telling the many bus taxi operators, marketeers, that there will be no cadres charging you levies per taxi rank. Nothing. I'm saying to the council workers, this is your election. You, the councils, will now manage markets as before. No PF cadres will be allowed to take money that is meant to pay your salaries. So your salaries will be paid on time. This is your election. This is your campaign. I'm saying to Zambians that there will be no violence. There will be law and order. There will be no need for you to fear to go to a bus stop to ride a bus from here, Ndola to Lusaka, because there are PF thugs beating people. You'll be able to wear any party regalia. I want to say to the PF cadres, do the right thing. Be the watermelon. Because after the change of government, you can wear your PF regalia anywhere. No one will beat you the way you are beating other political party cadres. Stop beating other colleagues, your fellow brothers and sisters, because no one will beat you after the election. So be the watermelon in the PF. Vote for change, vote for this UPND alliance. I am saying to sawmillers, I'm saying to sawmillers, the number of trees that you buy at the moment have been reduced, making it very difficult for you to maintain your business and employment. UPND comes, you'll be able to buy more trees. We will allow you to buy more trees. We will encourage you to buy more trees. We will not just do that. We will also give you credit, soft loans, for you to buy equipment at your sawmill at a lower cost. Then you can produce better timber, and you sell more timber, you make more money, you look after your children, you employ more workers. This election is for you. That's what we're going to tell sawmillers. That's what we're saying to sawmillers. There is no need for government to do what is being done now. We as UPND Alliance government will be supportive to the people, to citizens. Abalwele, huh? Come on, what's the right word? The sick.
You're right. Well.
This is your election, because after change of government, you go there, you find medicines in hospitals. This is your election. This is your campaign. I am saying to students, the PF running mate is the one who withdrew meal allowances. We will restore the meal allowances. We'll give you a bursary. You don't have to be related to anyone in government. As long as Chikulu, you are a Zambian, you are in college, you deserve a bursary, you'll get it. Copperbelt University, colleges around Copperbelt, the whole Zambia, this is your election, this is your campaign for change, because we will take care of you. You will be the way Bali, the way HH came out of the village and seek the presidency. We are saying to all those retirees whose benefits have not been paid, your benefits will be paid. We are saying to the civil servants who were taken to a stadium yesterday, Ningumfuati civil servants were taken to the stadium yesterday. Your loans will be written off. Wushe, what is forcing you to get loans? It's because your salaries are low. When we come in, you will not need loans because your salaries will be improved. So, this is your election. NAPSA, you will get your midterm NAPSA savings so that you don't get those loans that they are now trying to say they will write them off. Yet, they've not been remitting the deductions from your salaries to the lending companies. Now, naba monat election ili pepi, vaisa kumuzembaika. Kula mshita don't kubeva. Namkwata mano, you know what to do. Our fundamental changes will allow you to earn a decent salary at a lower tax, more disposable income. You can build homes. You can also invest in a business such that when you retire, you will get more than your retirement benefit. You will also have a business that will keep you going and can employ your children, your nephews, your nieces. That's what we are saying. The NAPSA money will be available for you as your own money instead of borrowing money.
Thank you.
How
very
about
much.
that? That is much better than someone cheating you because nabo mfuati HH alikundola. Navena, ba vice president na imwe. Lubuli ulo, lekenu lubuli. Lekena avena Zambia bashite decide avene. Na aveshi bafide chitika. Please, my brother, in conclusion, I want to say to you, this election is not for HH, it's not for Bari. It's for you, the people of Zambia. You have a rare opportunity to deliver the change that you want to better your lives. This is it. This is what you've been waiting for. That's why no one will be allowed to postpone this election. This election is for you public sector workers. Nobody under the UPND will transfer your wife from Ndola to Chipata. Yet you both work for government. Divorces are happening because of poor personnel policies, human resource personnel policies of the PF. We will change that. You are working as a doctor in Ndola or a teacher in Ndola, your wife is a nurse, you will both be in Ndola. So that masunga abana, ulupwa, banja, muchinyanja, mukowa, right? Family. Now, today, what is happening is unacceptable. This election is yours. I've already talked about council workers. Men and women in uniform. Do not be used to beat your own people in the UPND Alliance. We are working for you. You'll be paid better. You go to the UN for a mission, you'll be paid your allowances there in dollars 100% because you are at risk. Americans say you are in harm's way. You need to be rewarded 100%, no deductions. We are saying to mine contractors, more contracts, mine suppliers, paid on time, all the time, every time. This is your election too. I'm not really sure what opportunities you people of Zambia are looking for, other than this election opportunity to change government, to bring a new team. That, one, we seek government, Bamukuka. One, to save the people of Zambia, not to be saved. Two, we seek government to include citizens, not to exclude them. Three, we seek government to unite citizens, not to divide them, and to offer them, more importantly, an opportunity for a better life. Their children who are born, the grandchildren born and unborn. This is a rare opportunity. Abena Zambia, Abena Kopala. Muyonaula opportunity. Utilize it to the maximum. Campaign, number one, for change, for this alliance, UPND alliance. Two, turn out to vote in large numbers. In large numbers. So that we win by morning. Bamwans, morning muchibe majani. Kachelo. Luchelo. Twawina kale. Right? Number three, protect the vote at all costs. And the way we define vote protection by Mukuka Wesu is for us to be sworn in on that day. Then we'll have protected your vote. If Mbifia Shala, leave it to Barry and team. Barry will fix it for you, for your children, for your nieces and orphans that you keep in your homes. This is it, Bamukuka. I could have said more. There are a lot of things. The unemployment levels, we're aware. We've talked about high prices of goods, we're aware. We are aware of the bad roads, very bad roads. Munomi ne Copperbelt. They will be worked on. We are aware of the challenges why farmers have refused the 150 kwacha maize floor price, because they don't make money. Why? Because the cost of fertilizer is too high. We'll reduce that. This election is for you farmers. In Eastern, they are saying, Tifuna Bari, Tifuna HH Mulimi Muzatu. even you, on the Copperbelt, you are no different.
Thank you very much. That was Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, the President of the United Department for National Development, UPND, featuring on a special interview from the Copperbelt in Ndola. My name is Valentine Kuka. Continue listening to Radio Chengero and other stations, plus television stations that were broadcasting live this particular interview. We also thank our colleagues on Facebook who are also covering live this interview. Thank you very much once again. Bye.
Thank you, Bamku.